How do we make sure that as entrepreneurs, we don't just settle for the shallow waters, but we dare to go into the deeper waters? Entrepreneurship is about that. We fall all the time, but we need to have the resilience and the flexibility and the ability to bounce back quicker, right? You know, every time I'm in a room full of women, I cannot ignore this power that sits in that room. And I often think, is it because God could even trust us with the power to create and bring life?
Hello, everyone. We are continuing our unstoppable conversations this Women's Month. Our guest today, I have been inspired by her journey. She is a force, a powerhouse of a woman, entrepreneur, mother, as well as a business mogul. I've learned so much from her journey, and I'm truly delighted to bring her today as we can learn a little bit more from her. Her name is Refilwe Sebothoma, and today we are in an unstoppable conversation. Hello, Refilwe.
Friend, thank you so much for having me. I know this is going to be very cool. Thank you.
I'm so excited to be finally having this conversation with you. Let's kick off. Refilwe, where did it all start, and what inspired you to do what you do?
So I think you know the story started from very humble beginnings, raised by my mother and my grandmother, who were at the time impact leaders, but I didn't know anything about impact, right? And we would often have fights about it. I mean, if you have the last two, bride pack, and then your mom want to share it with the next door family, you don't understand it because you like, we live in poverty. The little that we have, you wanna share it. And she kept saying, you will understand it one day. And I really think that's what inspired me to become an entrepreneur, because I saw an entrepreneurship, friend, as really an ability that can help me not just to empower and change my life, but to change the lives of ordinary people. Because I had seen that when people are impacted, they are able to go back to their communities and families and replicate that impact.
Oh, so the journey started off with that realization from mom that as much as we are given, we have the bride pack. To whom much is given, much is required. And the beauty of you and I is your name is Refilwe, which means we are given. I am Kifilwe, meaning I am given. So there's this given, give, be greater than ourselves attitude and mentality that comes from our names. And mom taught you that as much as we are given, whether it's a bride pack, how do we share with another
Absolutely.
person? And that's an attitude that I've seen you carry over the years. Let's talk a bit now around the industry that you are involved in, Refilwe. As an entrepreneur, you've evolved over the years from being in manufacturing, personal protective equipment, now into the energy field. What has inspired these shifts in your business journey?
So, friend, I've always really been obsessed with understanding the value chain and owning the value chain, right? I mean, that's a conversation we always have around how do we make sure that as entrepreneurs, we don't just settle for the shallow waters, but we dare to go into the deeper waters and owning the value chain? Because I really think that's where true empowerment, true value, and complexities that are able to build and refine who we are, the kind of businesses that we do really lies. And I think that's where the journey started, where we started with our PPE business, and we often started asking what's more, what is next, how do we own the value chain? Because when you start owning the value chain, it also gives you a privilege as a business person to almost control as much as you can, because then you are able to bring all these aspects internally. But I think on a lighter note, I always say, if the entrepreneurship bug beats you, then you are in it forever. There's no going back. And I think that's where we are, me and you.
Oh, wow. So the entrepreneurship bug, it has bitten you.
For
You
sure.
are in business. And I must say, Refilwe, there's an attitude you bring forward in business. What is that? There's a drive, seeing the content you share on various social media platforms about your business endeavors, your current projects. It is absolutely inspiring, it is empowering. Where does this drive come from?
It's from impact, changing the lives of ordinary people, but paying it forward as well. Because me and you, we are sitting here because somebody believed in us, someone gave us a chance, and and I think it is our responsibility to pay it forward. I think that's number one. Number two, when we impact people and we have a compelling purpose and why statement why we do the things that we do, money follows, right? And I don't think money should ever be our driving force or our purpose statement, because me and you know, friend, especially when we start and we are scaling up businesses, there are times when money doesn't come, and I've seen that money cannot sustain us as business people. We need to have a very strong, compelling purpose that compels us, even in the darkest days, to really still continue standing and pushing forward, right? So the latest business, Hakem Energies, I was telling you now off air that it has changed my heart. I thought I was an impact leader. I thought I came from poverty, but this business has challenged everything that I thought I knew, because then we also remember that as God blesses us and we come out of poverty and circumstances, we really become very far removed from the realities. And I mean, you know, in the past 4 months, we've impacted over 1,000 families, giving them access to clean cooking as an alternative energy. And that changes your heart, because you see the reality and the harsh poverty and the circumstances that our people, I mean, those people are our mothers, they are our sisters, right? They still live in there. And it also gives you a new level of gratitude to just thank God that, yes, we are not where we want to go, but we are also not where we used to be.
Wow. So true. Refilwe, never taking for granted what it is that you have, what is it that is in front of you. Let's talk about Hakim Energies, your latest project. Whenever I call Refilwe, you are in this township, you're in this area, you are bringing hope through the use of safe energy, gas, to those who have never received such. What challenges have you faced entering this business?
So I think firstly, there are industries which has always, and you know, one of my executive support was saying, you always choose those businesses which are known and called male dominated industries, right? And the barrier of entry is extremely hard. And I remember when we went into the energy space, for me, was to make sure that as we talk about just energy transition, we don't leave the marginalized communities behind, because for them, it's not just energy poverty, but it comes with so much more and so many socioeconomic dilemmas, like firewood rape, where women are raped when they go into the field to collect wood, you know, paraffin poisoning, toddlers dying because they drink paraffin, because when they use paraffin stoves, they will store them in a juice bottle or a cold drink bottle. So these are some of the hectic realities, friend. And that's why it was very important for us that we are going to package and make sure that LPG becomes available as a cleaner source of energy. Because a lot of times we've always thought that LPG, it's only used in the industrial, so it's used by people who can afford it. But we have made sure that through our containerized model, it is accessible to those communities. Wow, saving lives, one life, one family, one community at a time.
Wow, Refilwe. A woman truly breaking barriers in a male dominated industry. I want to find out from you. You know, our theme for this feature is about being unstoppable. What does it mean to you to be unstoppable?
Sure, friend. I think firstly, just that daring spirit, and you know I've got it, right? Where I often dared to go where people said we could never go in. I dare get in rooms people said you could never go in. So I think just that daring spirit, because even when you come out of different and difficult circumstances, it can really help and push you forward to just dare to change even where you come from. You know, if you were born out of poverty, dare to be the first one who comes out of it and who brings the next generation out of it. So I think just that daring spirit, but also very importantly, the ability and the flexibility to get back up again quickly after the fall. Because entrepreneurship is about that. We fall all the time, but we need to have the resilience and the flexibility and the ability to bounce back quicker, right? You know my theory of the 24-hour rule. Whatever happens, whether good or bad, 24 hours, we need to move on because that is powerful. Sometimes I've seen that, especially in different difficult circumstances, people stay too long down. So I think we need to be able to just pull ourselves up and go try again.
Refilwe, how do women out there, because you're unique, your daring spirit, your tenacity, it's rare at times to find. How do women out there build this resilience, this daring ability, this tenacity with them? What are the practices that you do? What are the tools that you can impart on us?
So I think my faith is a big part of it. You know that I truly believe that I'm called for business. And because I believe in that, I believe that God has my back and he'll always, always make sure that things happen the way. And it gives you a level of confidence, friend, right? To know that God is in it with you. I think that's the first thing. The second thing is around building proper support structure, because every time when people see me, they see this tenacious, strong, powerful woman. But you know me. You know the vulnerable moments. You know the moments where things are falling apart. You know the moments where I just call and cry on the phone because that's all I need to do at the time. So I think having that strong support system from family, my helper at home, the friendships I have, like the one we have, that support system can really, really sustain you through difficult times. And it allows you not to be perfect all the time. Have a safe space that allows you to say, today I'm not okay, friend. So I think that's very important.
Let's talk a little bit around perfection. You know, as women, particularly for those who want to start a business, who want to reach that goal or dream that they've set out for themselves, people are waiting. They're waiting for the perfect time when I will approach my manager and say, I want to have a conversation about my career growth. Refilwe, what are your views on perfection in the journey of life?
I think it stops many people than actual failure does. So the only way to explain it is through scripture, because I love it, right? It says there is no farmer who waits for perfect conditions to sow a seed. So you must wake up as a farmer in the morning, sow your seed, because you don't know which seed will succeed. So I think for me, it's really about that. Just continuously put yourself out there, put out the seed, put in the work, something will happen. You know, the power of showing up. You don't need to be perfect to show up. And that's why sometimes you meet the most critical stakeholders for your journey. So I don't believe in perfectionism. I don't want to be perfect, and I don't even desire to be perfect.
Wow, 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 wow. Sow that seed. Don't wait for the right time. Just go out there and sow the seed. You will never know which seed will sprout. There is always that hope. Refilwe, how do you juggle it all? Motherhood, business, children, prioritizing Refilwe. There is a lot. Every time I'm engaging with you, you're always on the move. How do you integrate it all?
I think the grace of God.
No, Refilwe, I want to know.
I think the grace of God, but again, the support structure, friend, you know, honestly speaking, even my home, my family structure, I can be out there knowing that my kids are well taken care of. But I've also been very intentional. You know, we talk
Yes.
processes, procedures, because it allows me to not work in the business, but on the business, meaning there are times where I don't have to be physically involved or practically involved in the business, but different businesses can still run whether I'm there or I'm not there. And I think certain practices like that can also buy you time as an entrepreneur. And you know my love for my kids, we force time, right? We force time. And one thing that I do well as well is that the same way that I put things on calendars for work, I also put things on calendar for family, for sports, for shooting ranges, everything that I need to do. I block it on my calendar, because if you don't do that and you've got about 7 different companies or teams, it will never happen. So it's that intentionality, friend, to make sure that it happens.
Oh, so scheduling, prioritizing, forcing that time that matters most to you. You spoke a bit around the family, the children, the extracurriculum activities. When do you make time for Refilwe?
All the time. All the time. So every week it's a Thai massage. No. Yeah. So every week, there are things that, and we learned the hard way. I've paid the school fees, right? You know the story where I ended up in ER. You know the story. So I think.
But those who don't know, give us a brief synopsis. What happened?
So it's really burnout, right? Where we just push ourselves over the limit. And one evening I ended up in ER. And those are the moments that changes perspective on things, what is really important, what is critical. And I think since then, I then started making sure that, I prioritize my gym. I'm at gym every single morning, and I started creating hobbies as well, golfing, shooting ranges, and all of those kind of things. But I think most importantly, really deliberately creating time to spend with your family, your friends, and your loved ones. I think those have been quite critical things.
So the importance of intentionality as well. When you are crafting your life, when you are being unstoppable in your endeavors, in your aspirations, in your business objectives and goals, never forgetting yourself in the journey as well.
And you are all you have, friend. You are all you have, right? If another staff member leaves, we can always recruit and replace them.
Correct.
But you are all that we have, and you are all that your family has as well. And I think it's very important.
Without a doubt, Refilwe, let's never forget to take care of ourselves. Very, very important. So it's Women's Month. In South Africa, it's Women's Month. What's your message to women out there?
Every time I'm in a room full of women, I cannot ignore this power that sits in that room. And I often think, is it because God could even trust us with the power to create and bring life? And I think that's what women we have. We have the ability not only to dream, to conceptualize things, but to bring things into life, to birth things, birth businesses, right? So I really think that's one of the most powerful things that women have, and men don't have it, right?
Yes.
But I think also, friend, a lot of times there's been an expectation for me to be harder, to lead like a man. And I don't want to do that, because I'm not, right? And once you do that, you lose the softer side of life, which is intended for you to be a better impact leader, right? And I think staying true to yourself, tell your journey, accept your journey the way it is, and just surround yourself with great people who see that. Because I feel like sometimes as women, we put ourselves under a lot of pressure to really be almost remotely controlled by people's views. And I think we need to have the ability to be grounded, to be content with who we are, where we are, and trust that the journey is not even really ours, but it belongs to God.
Complete this sentence. I am unstoppable because...
I'm unstoppable because I'm a crazy, passionate entrepreneur. Steve Jobs says it is crazy people who think they can change the world who actually do. And I think I'm one of those crazy people.
Oh, I love it. I love it, my friend. Crazy, ambitious, an inspiration, a force, a light in this world, bringing impact, bringing energy, bringing safe healing and possibilities to so many across South Africa. I'm wishing you all the best in the many years to come on your business journey. Continue being a force, continue being given. Refilwe, you are given. It has been an absolute honor and joy connecting with you today.
Thank you so much. I love you. I appreciate you, and keep doing what you're doing. You know, I've got massive respect for the work that you and the team do.